Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, got a little clarification from the last episode where I talked about the new Tesla Model S, Model X not getting unlimited charging effective immediately. I received an email from Tesla over the past several days that clarified this, that after January 1st of 2017, if you order a machine then, you get 1,000 miles of range before you have to actually start to pay for the electricity. But if you order a brand new machine, that being the Model S or the Model X, before December 31st of 2016, you can still get the unlimited charging option from their supercharging stations. Next up on the list, we talked about this little machine, the brand new Ford Ecosport. This vehicle is being sold all over the planet, and even though it's being built in Michigan in the United States, it isn't actually sold in the U.S. until the next several weeks, because this vehicle will debut in just a handful of hours, a U.S. spec version at the L.A. Motor Show. So we'll know a whole lot more of when and where this vehicle will be available in your local Ford dealer. Another vehicle that's going to be debuting at the LA Motor Show is the brand new Golf. Volkswagen debuting the brand new Golf. Now, the trick is it's very hard to see the difference between last year's model and this year's model. It does get an all-new front bumper and brand new LED headlights. Now, the vehicle underneath gets a lot new. In fact, a brand new 1.5-liter turbocharged engine, 4-cylinder that makes 148 horsepower. That is hooked up with a brand new 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. Now, as you can see, the Golf lineup is pretty heavy with a number of different variants. Now, the ones that you really care about, that being the GTI Performance, and the Golf R, will get some upgrades. The Golf R does come with just under 300 horsepower and remains so in this generation, but the GTI will get a bump up to 227 horsepower, and the GTI Performance will get a bump up to 242 horsepower. Now, the inside does get a little upgrade too. In fact, a brand new infotainment system that can get anywhere from a 6.5 to a 9.2-inch touchscreen with gesture controls. Now, a lot of these machines we've been showing you here are the Euro spec versions. The US spec versions will debut in LA in a handful of hours, so we'll know a whole lot more coming up in the next several days. Next up on the list, another machine is going to be debuting at the LA Motor Show is the brand new long wheelbase version of the Porsche Panamera. Now, the vehicle is 150 millimeters or 6 inches longer than the standard Panamera and comes with a list of twin turbocharged V6 engines, making anywhere between 330 horsepower and 550 horsepower. Now, the place you want to be, obviously, is in the back seat of these machines. And you get a bunch of cool tech back there, including wireless phone charging, some retractable trays and tables, and also two 10-inch touchscreens that are recessed into the back headrest that are actually removable for use outside of the vehicle. No pricing or availability have been announced as of yet, but we'll know a lot more in the next several days. Last up on the list, sticking with the whole Porsche thing. In fact, a Porsche from the past, the old 959. This was basically the top of the spear of supercar performance back in the middle to late 80s. In fact, 87 and 88, they were built. In fact, they built 294 comfort versions and 29 different sport versions. But an odd little story that had come out over the past several days from the folks over at Road and Track. Now, I'll get to that here in just a minute, but think of what this car had back in the day that is stuff that you hear a lot more in modern days, including adjustable ride height, adjustable torque splits. It had all-wheel drive, which was a first for the folks over at Porsche, and a tire monitoring system inside of it, like you hear in a lot of machines in modern day. The vehicle was actually built as a homologation piece so they could race it in the Dakar Rally. Now, back to that Road and Track article. Oddly enough, these cars weren't just built in 87 and 88. Actually, when this program was put together back in the mid-80s, Porsche was flourishing, but by the time this program actually got off the ground, Porsche was hemorrhaging money and hemorrhaging quite aggressively. And the fact that this vehicle actually cost them way more than additionally thought meant that this whole lineup was actually cut off short from their production goals, just because these vehicles, they were losing so much money for every vehicle sold. Well, oddly enough, they had a lot of parts and pieces laying all over Stuttgart, just gathering dust. And a pair of gentlemen from China actually commissioned 6 more of these machines to be built in 1992. Yes, almost 5 years after the program actually ended, for them to actually fire this thing off again is pretty doggone interesting. Now, apparently there were 6 more built. There were 6 more comfort versions that are actually included in the final tally of these machines built. And oddly enough, too, there's a chance that these vehicles have never seen the light of day. The chance that these vehicles have never, ever been driven. Very intriguing article from the folks over at Road and Track. If you want to check it out, I got it up on the Facebook page. The link's down in the show notes. I'll take you right over there. You can check it out. It's pretty doggone intriguing. I had no idea. And it's always fun to find out these little gems of information from way back in the day. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. The link's down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.